You ever wonder if we're wasting our lives? We spend all of our time concerned about people that have been dead for hundreds of years. We could be trying to better the world, or make something of ourselves. We're a speck of dust on a bit of dirt floating through infinite space. Anything that we do is a waste of time. If I could start again, I'd be a dentist. Get the professor. What is this?
We're still not exactly sure, though some believe that pressing this subscribe button would induce a state of euphoria unmatched by any known earthly pleasure.
Okay. Sir, you need to see this. Ever seen anything like this before? Professor, are you okay?
I feel like I need to talk about cosmic horror films. They often have these indescribably grotesque monsters, which upon sight would drive mere man into insanity.
What are you talking about? What's a film? Where are you going?
I'm making the video.
What's a video? What are you doing? I'm gonna hit the subscribe button. I don't know if that's a good idea. They say once you subscribe, you can't unsubscribe. Of course I can.
What's up with the realization that everything is untrue and we're all merely the creative whim of a man who should spend more time getting a proper career and less time posting animations on the internet?
Professor, who are you talking to?
Them.
There's no one there.
Yes, there is. At least 100, maybe 1,000. Hell, if the algorithm picks it up, it could be millions.
There aren't millions of people watching us.
Don't be so pessimistic, scientist number 2.
My name is Eric. Your name is Professor Edwards.
No, I've read the script. I'm not the professor. That's
Stay afraid.
someone else. I'm Sackhead Ed. I make videos about murdering teenagers in the woods and horror tropes. I'm breaking the fourth wall right now.
What?
Oh, so John Carpenter can break the fourth wall in The Mouth of Madness, but I'm a YouTuber, so I can only make Let's Plays and unboxing videos.
I don't understand. What happened? I unsubscribed.
Tell me I can't break the fourth wall.
Not again. Fuck this. Fuck this, I give up.
We know it isn't just people eating each other. They're the ones looking for anonymous set. Go check out this $5 spend in house against the that's big, intimidating, powerful axe. Hello? Is anyone there? Ah, so that's the professor.
Money is the primary unit. Though we are insignificant to its operations, it seems there is... I could eat a horse. Billions. It begs the question. A new student. Wandering around places you should not be in. Oh, you humans are so...
Now it has found a place to live. Inside.
They were telling me
I thought that there were other dimensions.
what to write.
chaotically predictable. I shall introduce myself. My name is Professor Void, and today I'm going to teach you, well, something that is unteachable. The reason why you shouldn't be so curious about the things of the unknown. Something unknown, something outside your own senses, your sight, smell, hearing, and imagination cannot comprehend this fear that is inside you. It's inside all of us. Your thoughts are not able to define it. It is as disheartening as knowing that there are colors out there you will never see, that will never exist. The fear of finally seeing something genuinely foreign, not to our own planet, not even our own universe, something that shouldn't belong even in your own mind, something as foreign as that. Some stories never started, nor have they ever ended. This fear of unknowing brings our very own morals and ethics forward to lay bare on the cold surface of judgment. Of course, that's if they even notice us. Do we recognize the complex religion of, let's say, a pack of rats? Do we give the stage and our undivided attention to the cries of a dandelion being ripped from the ground and blown to bits, just to have its last bits of life be a childlike wonder of a laugh? Huh. Get the picture. So why would any other higher intelligent being out there give us any attention or recognition, let alone respect? You humans are egotistical, ignorant, and fragile. You see, this genre of fear, genre of horror to be exact, is somehow stupidly defined as cosmic. You see, humans love putting concepts, no matter the size of the meaning behind it, into their own words to comfort them. If something is defined, then it is something known. Once it's known, it's ready to be exploited. They make stories out of sound, paper, and film to define and constrict this concept. Although it is part of human nature to define something wrongfully, it is still quite fun to discover when and what you've represented over the years as cosmic horror, and then dissect it. So, let's begin this session, an analysis of cosmic horror. Now, for us to cover this subject, we must first cover cosmicism. Cosmicism is a bleak belief that there is no discernible divine presence in our universe. Nothing controlling our every move or giving us really purpose or justification to any morality system that many humans follow. Also, it makes sure that humans are humbled to what their true worth is, which is practically non-existent. With this philosophy, you have many similarities to nihilism. Cosmicism is more creative in its justification on how insignificant humans are, by explaining more prominent entities living out there in the ether of gas and stars. Now, This philosophy, it was conjured and brought to by a man known as H.P. Lovecraft. From 1917 to 1937, besides having a deadly and disgusting belief of his superiority over humans because of his skin tone, Lovecraft's cosmicism was popularized when he was actively writing during those years. One of his famous babies was Cthulhu, the one with the tentacles and such. You could say this belief is pessimistic, made by H.P. Lovecraft, but Lovecraft made sure to secure his position as more scientific and cosmic, less on the whole angels and demonic part. In a way, every horror-based media has an aspect of cosmic horror inserted in it. But it's impossible to truly make a cosmic horror story. At least, humans have tried. Moving past the founder, we see his influence in many other works, ranging from Edgar Allan Poe's Miss Found in a Bottle to Ambrose Bierce's The Damned Thing. Also, Bram Stoker, The Squaw. All these stories are within the book of Shadows of Carcosa. Many of these ranging in the cosmic horror genre. You also had other famous tales later in the years to come, like Stephen King's Revival and Junji Ito's Uzumaki. Both stories still holding on to the sophisticated telling of cosmic horror, and the ones of the past too. Of course, humans became greedy. As the quality went down, the tropes went up. As we continued, the subjects became more subjective. The use of this philosophy was becoming watered down. You see, seeing is believing, seeing is understanding, seeing is knowing. Humans wanted to know the unknown. They wanted to even show it. Humans started to like cosmic horror. They wanted to be edgy and wanting more than gore and thrills. They tried to define and watch how it was portrayed through their own eyes. They liked it, maybe even loved it. But as that love grew, the respect of this old philosophy was being lost just as quickly. For now, people dare try to define the unknown. Like when cosmic horror was first conveyed through the written word, the films also had some respect initially. But it is nowhere near the potency of what reading does to the mind. Your brain knows what you fear. So these visual manipulators of film and video alter and warp these things to make you uncomfortable, to at least try to define cosmic horror. The human imagination can engulf anything that these manipulators try to visualize to their audience. The number one source of fear for the individual is the individual itself. Of course, there are some lovely contenders who at least scratch the surface, or at least come close to. The first sin of visualizing cosmic horror, as so far we can tell, is a story from H.P. Lovecraft himself, envisioned. The Haunted Palace.
As in ecstasy in Alice.
This film was directed by Roger Corman. Of course, humans were using practical and dramatic effects during those days. It added, honestly, a sense of realism. So the horror, yes, it was, again, dramatic, but it had a sense of realism to it. Unfortunately, the phrase haunted is a somewhat overused premise to justify powerful beings being there to be discovered by humans. Demonic movies always use this, and that is a subject for another time. Again, cosmicism is above morals. So to say something is even deserving to be trapped or encased, you lose the foundational fact about cosmicism. We should never know why it was there in the first place. And we should have never even tried to discover it. Next is maybe a definitive contender for something successfully giving the audience a sense of fear for the unknown.
It doesn't want to show itself, it wants to hide inside of imitation.
You see, The Thing, directed by John Carpenter, was a entity that was discovered. More alien than demonic or angelic. Genuinely discovered again, I say. This is an entity that's just trying to survive, really. Once the ability to live again reigns true, the human need for research and discovery and the greed of their ego and curiosity made them find something they shouldn't have. This is a good premise for cosmic horror. Humans meddling in factors and environments they shouldn't be in, and them dealing with the consequences of discovering this immoral entity. Of course, as the human innovation wraps its tendrils around the film media, practical effects started to dwindle away. Yes, some looking ridiculous sometimes, but still had a sense of realism to them. And compared to what was to come, well, maybe it was more uncomfortable. The Mist, directed by Frank Darabont, is an excellent example of a show for having a good plot, but visually lacking. Suppose the alien-like creatures don't fit into your environment. Yes, again, them being foreign, but at least in John Carpenter's, you saw them there. They existed. In that case, if you lose the visuals, you lose your audience. What is terrific about it, I will say, is it does not focus on the viewpoint of the people who initially encountered the mist of foreign things. You get to see a whole community, humanity even, deal with this problem. They even try to involve their cosmic beings to combat the mist, which tells you how humans will do anything to survive, even involve their own gods.
To take sides. Read the good book. It calls for blood.
Humans thrive on being comfortable and knowing when and where comfort is coming from. The need to know everything? Whatever happened to ignorance is bliss? You have built and set your own moral rules, human laws. You built them all so you can thrive. Cosmicism destroys the very aspect of humanity, sometimes even literally. You'll always fear your unknowns, but do you ever think about what other things fear? The smaller entities, the rats, the dandelions, other living things? What do they believe in you? We kill, grow, and destroy, never showing any concern for other little things. You see, there is always bigger fish, more significant entities, and bigger concepts. Cosmic horror can never define the fear that you will hold forever and ever. The raw, unchecked, unknown knowledge will send you to the brink of insanity and break you, put you back together,
stay strong here,
and tear you to shreds. Again and again and again. Maybe that is why I do love you humans. Whether it is you sitting in the deep dark void of the forgotten and unwanted, or the blinding manipulated lights of superior intellect and bliss, you humans will never learn. and you will continue to meddle in matters you should not mess with. Makes it very entertaining to watch. To see you all continuously, day by day, year by year, civilization by civilization, human existence after human existence, continue to try to find something. And you know what? I love it. So good luck, you curious little creatures. Good luck. I want to thank you all for watching today's session. I could not have made such an excellent and educational visual presentation without my colleague's help here, Sir Sackhead Ed. Knowledge is power, and the videos Mr. Ed makes share a unique perspective to many horrifying tropes and gimmicks presented to you humans, so please support them. If you did enjoy this session, please like, comment, and subscribe to Mr. Ed's channel and mine, Professor Void. It was fun chatting with you, and now go run along and go explore the things you should not know, and remember to stay afraid and keep learning. Oh, thank you.
Oh mama, he turned to me and said, won't you be mine? 7, 8, 9.